Pledge of Allegiance. And do we have the recording on? If
Yes.
it's not the recording. I'm pledging
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead, please roll call. Councilmember Pritchard,
Here.
Councilmember Abbott,
Present.
Over,
Present.
Councilmember Kennedy,
Here.
Councilmember Olson,
Here.
Marvel,
Here.
and Councilmember Spears was excused last meeting. Did that sound like a question mark, but I do remember he was excused last meeting. Here. Approval of the agenda. I have one little change before I call for as submitted, and that is section 11 on ordinances. It says none. We actually have ordinance 1145, and we'll reference that up to section 8A and I, which says first read of ordinance, page 80. So that's first read of ordinance 1145. So just to correct the agenda. Other than that, I don't have anything else unless the council or staff have anything else to change.
Move past the amendment.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Any discussion? Any more discussion on the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Agenda accepted as amended. Opportunity then for interested citizen comments is now. I don't know if anyone has signed up. Or if we have anyone online that would like to comment.
That's what I understand.
First, second, third call. There will be another opportunity for the interested citizen comment at the end, near the end of the meeting. And so if you think of something along the way, you'll have another opportunity. This is an opportunity now for announcements, proclamations, and special presentations. I think we want to recognize someone very special today. That is Ivana Lomas. She is in our Park and Rec department, and she also is the young women's softball coach at the high school. And she has some exciting news. So come on up, and we would love to recognize your efforts.
That's because you wouldn't come if I said
We tricked you.
so I'll just share a few words that we're just very excited so want to congratulate Ivana. She's the girls fast pitch coach. They had an extraordinary season this year. They won the Northeast A-League title and they captured the District 6 championship, which looking at those two things, the Northeast A title or Northeast A championship hasn't happened since 2001, and the District 6 championship hasn't happened since 1991. So these are historic times, really great, and it reflects more than just talent. It requires leadership and preparation and resilience and a team culture that gets built day by day. And Coach, you helped the student athletes grow into confident competitors and supportive teammates, and you guided them through the pressure moments with composure and belief. And it's the kind of accomplishment that becomes part of our community story. So we're just grateful for the example that you set and the pride that you brought to the community. So congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I do want to add, if I can, that this wouldn't be possible without the support of my coworkers, because especially in the 3 months, like I'm in and out of the office, I get my job done, and I go to Sunny and Glenn, and I'm like, Sandy, I'm sorry, I got to finish this really quick and then head to practice. So thank you guys for your support. It's tough to do both at the same time, but not having the coworkers that I do, it wouldn't be possible. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. We're so proud of you. So
Thank
well
you.
done. Thank you. I feel like there should be something more. It's so phenomenal. Moving then on to reports of public safety. So we do have Fire Commissioner Block here, Fire District 3. And I see we have a sheriff's report on our desk. You can go ahead and come forward. Had you planned to share tonight? Oh,
Actually, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the way we do it around here. Put you on the spot.
I think everybody knows me now, right? Tim Floss, Park Commissioner for Fire District 3. So I texted Cody as I said, I planning to go to the commissioner or the council meeting tonight and last night for Spangle, just to kind of stay familiar to everybody. And he said, well, good, because all the chiefs are gone for tomorrow night. Would you mind standing in? So that's who you're stuck with tonight for our public safety brief. But they're all different meetings. So I think we talked about public safety meeting. The Fisherman's Breakfast was fantastic for us this year. We went to a different model that you may have known with the donation at the door and let people put in what they wanted, and that worked very, very well. And our numbers were up. It's the best year that we've had since we took over. So that was real positive for us. Few of the things that we've been working on since I've been here, it's been a lot, but of course, maybe since Cody was here, we've been working on the Citizens Advisory Committee, and that's been something we've been working on in a little over a year and a half. We finally got our 6 members minimum that we wanted to have, one of which is Tony on this. So you have a direct conduit besides the chief or one of us other folks showing up here to your meeting. To have that kind of input from the community to our organization. So we're excited about having that and getting that input. As you guys know, it's difficult to reach out to your community and make sure you're getting the straight scoop. So we're looking forward to that involvement. Our call volume continues to go up. This April is 9% more than last April, and that seems to be our trend. Just continue with the higher calls and the higher acuity with the calls as well. Yeah, CPR calls, fire calls, and everything else just continue to climb. And good news for us is we won a grant recently for 2 Type 6 brush trucks from the Forest Service. So that truck would look similar to the truck that you guys had down here that you might have recognized as Rescue 32. So a 1-ton chassis. Or you might be more familiar with what you see DNR using with their red trucks, pickup truck model. So we got a grant for 2 of those. They're worth $130,000 a piece. It's going to take us a little bit of time and money to build them up, but we're looking forward to having those in our inventory now to be able to have a little quicker response than we can with our bigger trucks, particularly the 10 or so. That was a real positive for us. We just got those. You might see them run around as green. We're going to hurry up and get them painted white and then decal them as well so that they look like ours. We did a community CPR class. We had 2 classes of about 28 community members in it. So 56 community members got their CPR certificate, which is big, as it doesn't take it takes that community involvement to save a life. CPR is not hard, but that to give them the confidence of the certificate's huge. So 56 of our community members went through that. In addition, we had 7 of our firefighters go through and get their instructor certificate. So we'll be able to keep that model up and continue to teach the community and our own firefighters as well. We just finished hiring up what we're going to call our 2026 seasonal firefighter groups. We brought on 4 people that are going to start June 16th. And they'll be staffing an engine 7 days a week in addition to our 2 staffed stations. And that's 4 people in addition to any of the park aides that we'll have come on board with them. So depending on who and how many come forward on any given day, we'll have at least 1 whole extra engine that will be prepared to have a quick response to any kind of wildland fires that pop up. As the quicker we get them, the smaller we can keep them. And that's going to be the focus again this year, just like it was last year. And it was a good model. And we just hope that with the forecast that's been painted for us, that we're going to be able to stay ahead of them. And along with the mayor there, I ran into her over in Olympia. We did a lot of talking with our legislators on different items that are very important to our community. Some passed, some didn't. But one of the big ones that I was there for to make sure that our legislators realized was important was the aviation model. And they're going to fund that again for us. And I think it's going to be a permanent part of the budget for the state. So we'll be able to keep the aircraft, which is critical to any kind of keeping fire small. And they are, interestingly enough, DNR is starting to change their model away from what you've seen with the fixed wing scoop airplanes. They're going to start seeing more helicopters. They're finding they're able to be more direct and precise, and they don't they're able to fly in more extreme weather than what our fixed wing aircraft are. And like I already mentioned, prepping for a very active wildland fire season. We've already seen a few of that light flashy fuel that's growing up the grass. And of course, you're all reading in the news, just like I am, with no snowpack, but yet these rains, it's going to make all that light flashy fuel pop up, and there's a lot of fuel for it to burn with the humidity being low and the trees just not having any water. You're seeing a lot of stress in the trees. That's all I had to present. Any questions for me?
Appreciate it. I just have one thing, there was a, wildfire, I don't know, symposium isn't the right word, but a group that Fire District 4, and it had DNR and Avista and all those folks. This was, I think it was last Saturday. And so anyway, I hope that we can have something like that with Fire District 3 for this West Plains area. I think not everybody translated that to it being regional, that it was for all of Spokane County. So a lot of our folks didn't go because it was in Deer Park, and it's like I'm not gonna drive an hour and 15 minutes, on a Saturday. But anyway, that was great. And I know you'll be leaving, but you probably already know that tomorrow night the Office of Insurance Commissioner Turner will be here tomorrow night from 6 to 8. And so some of that legislation that you heard about in the last session related to long-term recovery and insurance response post-fire or post-disaster. So anyway, that'll be tomorrow night. If you want to share that with anyone who might want to come, it'll be here at City Hall from 6 to 8 tomorrow.
Okay. And who was?
Insurance Commissioner
Yeah.
Carter from Olympia.
Seemed like a good advocate for the communities, but I was disappointed that transparency that they were pushing with letting folks know why their insurance dropped didn't pass through the legislature. That was one again that we were focusing on. To me, that's just too straightforward. That look, we're going to cancel your insurance. Well, why? You have these trees too close. Okay, well, I'll fix that. So that transparency, I hope, will be coming here in the near future. I'm not sure if we have anybody at
And so anyway, just wanted to let you know if you wanted to attend, or if any of the Fire District 3 want to attend, it'll be here in the auditorium at City Hall tomorrow night at 6. Might be a good chance to talk to her too. But other support that you might need in the next legislative session. She's been very active in supporting wildfire recovery.
Find out if anybody's attending. Thanks for bringing that up.
Sure. And I don't have anything else.
You have a timeline for when the 2 brush trucks will be on?
No, we just got them. So I think it was 2 weeks ago that we got them. So our maintenance folks are working through them. They're not outfitted with shovels, nozzles, anything like that. So we'll make them look more like ours. In addition, we put some medical supplies on ours as well, so that we can provide a BLS at the very least when we're fireline. So we're I'm not even sure how they're going to be applied. Chief Denstead's going to be the one that will make that application. As the apparatus committee that briefed the commissioners and said, this is what we've got. So now they'll try to roll them into our inventory and appropriately place personnel with them. And of course, volunteerism is always a struggle for us. And that's why we went to that model of staffing that engine so we can have more dedicated response.
Sure. Councilmember Wilbur, I saw you had your hand up. Did you have something?
Yeah, what's the budgeted cost to get these 2 trucks retrofitted?
About 30,000 a piece. It's quite expensive. The decal and everything like that, there's some ownership there that we need to provide, for our folks. And there'll be, the yellow, like you're seeing with our command trucks is what it's going to look like. But in addition to shelters, wildland shelters, for instance, with a 5-person truck like that, we technically have to put 5 shelters on there. They're very expensive.
So it's the not just the cost to make it fit into the fleet, but the cost to get them stocked,
right,
and everything. So
yeah,
it's the full.
But it's a great investment for us. It's a little bit, again, a different model of it, if you're familiar with our TAC trucks. So we'll see. The TAC trucks are almost like a tank. They're huge. Yeah, they can go through a tree.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, we don't have one here. I don't know. We moved them around so frequently, but the fire attack model with them is different. The attack trucks, like I'm speaking of, can also be a structural engine as well, not like the tenders and so forth that you're familiar with seeing. Engine 311, for instance, is a structure in a wildland track. So you'll see it around again. If you've seen the red DNR trucks, that's what it looks like. But they were outfitted for the Forest Service, so they're a little bit different, drip torches and things that we don't typically do. We're doing a little bit of regional stuff too. We hosted at the district all the fire commissioners for the Spokane County here last Wednesday as well.
Nice.
So some collaboration there, but interesting enough, I didn't know about that meeting that you read about or knew about at District 4, and I didn't know about tomorrow's meeting. So
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. And you'll probably hear we're having an emergency management meeting with the county to kind of do a regional, but we'll be reaching out to the chief. If he may already know about it, and I'm sure it's on his radar, but we'll make sure we get another invite out. So I think that's next week or so.
a lot of emphasis on regional collaboration right
What
now.
is
So
it?
it's good.
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday night in City Hall, Thursday night. Is that one during the day?
Thursday midday.
Yeah.
This
midday at 11 o'clock. Yeah.
11 to 12:30.
And that would be here at City Hall also in the auditorium.
And that was
That is emergency management, regional wildfire. And we learned a lot, and then just to give us an opportunity to share our lessons learned and how we're better positioned and prepared and ready to coordinate. With all of our partners here. So,
a busy week.
Just wanted to thank you for the report and no bad news. I like that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Also, you mentioned the CPR classes. Do you have an ongoing schedule for that?
We don't.
If you did in the future, maybe we could announce it through city council. And so other people could attend as community needs. That's a great service.
Okay. We have Terry Bunsey is our public affairs person, so I'll let her know.
Okay.
I think that's just a matter of networking and familiarity and getting out and visiting so that we can compare notes and get those things on each other's schedules. So
It's good service.
thank you so much. We
thank you all.
appreciate the report.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Evening.
Thank you.
And Ivana, congratulations again.
Thank you, Council. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you want to take a look at your sheriff's report, and maybe somebody else is going to heard it already, but notice that that's for down, let's just get this down, and vehicle railing was down. So we have a couple of that went up, when you can have 300% when you go from 1 to 3, but anyway, percentages are always a little strange, but overall, a very good report, I thought. When we make the rounds, you may have something more to add, which we'll go to right now. Committee and council reports. Councilman Pritchard.
Yeah, sorry, I missed last time for our meeting, but it's STEM night at the middle school for the whole school district, and really appreciate the city coming out. We had a grader, fire district 3 was there, the kiddos shoot over fire or different things with water hoses, which is a hoop. It was a great night. We had over 160 kids there, and the city or the school district pays for pizza from the pizza factory, so it's a great night. I'll try and push it for next year, and hopefully it won't be on a Tuesday night. We just had the HCDAC meeting, or the County Housing Development meeting. They appointed a new person to be in charge of the disaster funds that the state appropriated, the $44 million. And so we'll see how that works out. I just want to let you guys know I got appointed to the State Board of Geologists. I don't think that has anything to do with the city of Medical Aid, but it's another thing, state, I guess. And then tomorrow, unfortunately, I'll miss the commissioners meetings. I'm trying to make it to the PFAS task force for the Spokane County. In our area. And then of course, Fisherman's Breakfast was another wonderful, I love that, the donations thing was a smart idea.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me donate as much. I got more raffle tickets. They were very nice.
Persuasive.
They're good people.
They
Yes.
took all my money for a donation,
Yeah.
which was great, and I wanted to, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that was it.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Marie Abbott. Councilman Wilbur.
Yeah, the Public Works, their primary focus has been the road works at this point, and as far as as far as it goes, they've been doing a really good job getting everything wrapped up, and keeping the projects looking professional and, traffic flowing and, I think the citizenry and it's been pretty happy as far as I know, so. They just got the generator for the shop down there in yesterday and, they're gonna be working on, getting that installed, through proper channels here, as soon as possible. The generator, that is due for City Hall here is the next one in, but he didn't have a set date. It says en route. So that's kind of where that one's sitting.
They were a long time coming. It took
Yeah.
a year, time we ordered them, so that's how that works.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of one of those things. He did mention that two fire hydrants are still out of service, just waiting on either some parts or some kind of maintenance. So he did not know the downtime for those, but he is on top of the issues. It's not necessarily in a holding pattern, just kind of waiting for action for items to perform action. So that is being addressed. The light pole that got hit out on LaFay there in front of the old Alien Repair Shop. That's the old gas station. It looks like those parts won't be coming in until right around mid-August, but as soon as they are, he promises that'll be up and running here for the town as soon as possible. All the glass and debris has finally been fully cleaned up and addressed, so it is a bit safer for the pedestrians in the area as well. So that's wonderful. As mentioned, the fireman's breakfast did go off without a hitch, and it looked like that the treatment plant had their ecology visit and everything went swimmingly as it were with the water. So that's about all there is to that went on in the safety report this week.
Very good. Swimming in wastewater kind of, that's. But I'm glad things went well. Thank you.
Can I interject real quick? I'm sorry. I brought a class to Steve yesterday for a field trip at the wastewater treatment plant, and he did awesome. I just want to commend Steve again. It's amazing how well.
Yeah,
they're
he's
doing that.
wonderful.
That's such a great job.
he loves giving those tours. It's so good. Councilmember Kennedy.
Finance committee met and we looked over the expenditures and whatnot since the last meeting. Everything looked okay. Last Thursday attended a regional transportation council meeting. And one of the things brought up was project submittals, which I'm sure Sonny knows about. The period is May 15th, June 15th. Projects have to be submitted, and then whatever the final list is going to come out in September of what they think can be done and what can't be done. So if we have anything that needs to go in. The big discussion they had was SRTC is applying for a grant for Safe Streets for All. And that is putting AI cameras at high crash intersections. Big discussion about those AI cameras. They need to determine why there's crashes at those intersections, but it turned out only SRTC has access to the data from those cameras, and there's no interaction between any other agency. So there was discussion about that. Then on the 21st, which is Thursday, there's an open house at the Spokane Library. It's a joint with SRTC, STA. It's a public meeting to answer questions of what's happening and what is planned to happen as far as transportation goes in the county. Other big discussion was the pile up on 195 and also the truck overturned on the freeway. So, and I had personal experience with the truck on the freeway because we were 5 miles back at the back of the line when that happened. And with us, we had to get over to Sullivan. So it was an adventurous trip down Cheney Spokane Road and up over Hatch Hill and down Carnahan Hill and all that sort of stuff, along with hundreds of other people who were doing the same thing.
And then on the one crash in 195, I learned about that one because my cousin was the second car in that pileup. And the dust storm came in and he immediately slowed down, but the pickup in front of him put on brakes and stopped. He ran into him, and then there was 4 cars that plowed into the back. I think there was 20 cars involved in that incident. But yeah, so that's all I have.
This is a transportation meeting related to the comprehensive plan. I'm working on their transportation plan. Is that why they're meeting now, I would guess?
Yeah.
Part of the comp plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Councilmember Olson.
Not much to report, Your Honor. We did go through the stats from the sheriff's department, and though some of these look real outstanding when there's 200%, but when you go from 0 to 2, that's what you have. So everything fell within the normal parameters, and so other than that, I don't have anything to report, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry, I stole your thunder on that line. Just thinking, we don't have anyone to report. We forgot to do that, so. Councilmember Harper.
Good evening, Your Honor. Yes, the general government met at 5:30 tonight, and we had a nice put together information from Sunny. Legislative workshops. So we got staff working on the strategic planning retreat. I think for early June is what we're shooting for. Some upcoming workshops for council, fireworks review, our 6-year TIP update, AWC annual conference. I think that was more information was seek interest. That's June 24th or 26th in Spokane. The WCIA annual review and audit is in July, and then continuation of our comprehensive plan, periodic updates. And then down to public works, cleanup Green Day. We had 22.64 tons hauled off this year, which was pretty incredible. Maintenance crews, they're prioritizing roadside maintenance and pothole repair, street sweeping, in preparation for the scrub seal and finish up Fox Hollow this year. I think that's the plan. FEMA generator installation, funded and is underway for the Lynn Road well maintenance shop and City Hall. And then wastewater treatment plant, the ecology on-site visit was on the 4th, and that went well. Headworks and SCADA upgrade. There's a training day scheduled for the May 28th with the installation follow, and then the lab blind testing, which I think went well. So that's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Council have any questions about the reports before we move on? Okay, thank you. My report, as I said, Office of Insurance Commissioner will be here tomorrow. Hopefully we'll put that on social media again, and I think that the wildfire recovery folks, the 2 nonprofits, and then the camp will share that out as well. So hopefully we'll have a pretty good crowd and make it worth her while. The commissioner was here for the event Saturday. It was Fire District 3 in Deer Park, and she did speak there, along with there was DNR and the Vista. And so anyway, I'm really asking that we can have a similar here closer to the West Plains. So I'm going to keep working on that. We did have an executive retreat. Sunny will probably also tell a little bit about that, but it was great. We went to the Longhorn. We had the department directors were there, and we were talking about our strategic plan and what we thought council would want to be interested in. And so we were getting all of our ducks in a row so that when we have our retreat with you, then you can just enhance those things, and we'll be all on the same page. It was just really great just to have a deep dive discussion. Everyone's so busy all the time, and so we'll take the time to be together and to talk about the needs of the city and plans for the future. It was really great. The PFAS, there's a meeting tomorrow night. I will not be attending, so I'll be here with the insurance commissioner. But I think that work is they have hired navigators, and ecology is highly involved right now, and I think that ecology is kind of driving that work. And then I got another comment today. An email came to me from one of our citizens that said, "Hey, just tell council and everybody that you're just doing a really great job and I really love living here. So anyway, it's like, we love the streets, we love the way things look and this is just a great place to live and a great time to live here. So anyway, I wanted to share, it's always great to hear compliments. So that's all I have. Mr. Weathers, what's on your mind?
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. A few things to share. First off, you should have a matrix relating to that strategic planning retreat. And I would love to have these back from you before you leave tonight. But obviously, if you need to check calendars, you can get back to me at your earliest opportunity. That would be fine as well. But trying to zero down a time for that strategic planning retreat, a time and a date. So if we could get your thoughts and availability, that would be fantastic to help us solidify that. And then the mayor already mentioned the Office of the Insurance Commissioner, Office of the Insurance Commissioner is going to be here tomorrow. And so that'll be a great meeting, 6 to 8 p.m. right here in City Council chambers. City Hall commercial kitchen update. Just wanted to keep you apprised that we have Erin Bishop. There was a request from council to have a presentation. We're scheduling that for the first meeting in June. So she'll be here to explain a little bit more about what that service agreement looks like and how those plans come together. Also, that same meeting would be bringing a roofing service agreement as well for the construction side of things. So the HVAC work was happening. We'll start to see that the equipment, the hood being installed. That's the key piece of the whole project. So as the hood gets installed, we need the roof to be patched around that. So we'll bring that forward on the 2nd as well. And then wanted to update you that we have a fully executed MOU with the Department of with the SHS for the waterfront property transfer, waterfront park property transfer. So thank you again for your attention and approval. Sent that off to our partners who sent it back signed, and now the good work can begin. With that MOU in place. The city and DSHS can proceed to the next phase of implementation, including finalizing property boundary revisions and executing the necessary easement agreements that will formally convey ownership interests and establish the long-term access and use of the trail and park. So couple things on the calendar, just again to remind you that AWC annual conference, if you have an interest in going, there's a great reception usually on the first night for elected officials. If that's what you want to do, we can get you signed up to do that. If you have time and availability, that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there'll be sessions throughout the day. And they're always very pertinent. So if you want to be there for a day or for the whole thing, just let us know. We'll get you registered and take care of that.
What day is that again?
It is June 24th, 25th, and 26th.
That's a great meeting.
It really is. And I want to encourage staff too, because oftentimes they have some great staff segments. And so it's a great way to network and find someone who has the same problem that we do. Or the same success that we had anyway, or someone has a problem where we've had success and we can help. But it's really a great networking opportunity. And when it comes to Spokane, we want to send our people because it's the least expensive way
So
to get
close.
some training. Yeah.
Yeah. Also on the calendar, Thursday, May 28th at 5:30 p.m. is the next planning commission meeting. Just so you're aware. And then just for your reference as well, City Hall will be closed on Monday, the 25th of May in observance of Memorial Day. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Any questions for Sunny before we move on? Thank you. I will not forget that we're going to call forward our finance director, Kosh Ron, will give us the 2025 annual report.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Very excited to present the draft form of the 2025 annual report, our financial statements. So in the briefing sheet, starting on page 3, it describes the different schedules of the annual report for your ease of review. And I just wanted to be able to answer any questions, talk about any of the details and discuss that with you before it's approved for submission. Yes,
Well, on page 4, you have the summary there.
yes.
Okay, so you have beginning revenues and expenditures. And it's other increases or other decreases. What are other increases and what are other decreases if they're not revenue or expenditures?
So they are debt proceeds, which we don't have any, transfers, extraordinary items, capital purchases that the BARS manual classifies as, it still falls in the expenditure category, but they like to separate it out for the purposes of the financial statements. So there's not a lot in the other increases. As you can see, they're all just transfers. So those would be
Where do they transfer in from?
other funds. Yeah, so that's the movement between funds. If you look to the right, it will break down each fund. So as you can see, there were transfers into the streets fund of 960,000. And that also does include the managerial fund, the streets restricted, but it's rolled up for reporting purposes. And as you go through the different, the following 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, you can see that it lists out each fund and the details for each one. So you can,
Yeah, well, I can see that
Yeah.
1,000,008 transferred in, but also it's transferred out below.
yes. Yeah, so they're transferred between funds.
So
Yeah.
the
I think all these numbers
oftentimes
just confuse
It
people
is a
that try to
little
read these things.
confusing. We're looking to kind of fix that a little bit, and we'll talk some more about that, but
That's correct.
when the money comes into the general fund and then it's allocated, so we either have an ordinance or rule or a policy or whatever that it's allocated the fund a certain thing and it's restricted to that. That's where those transfers come from. We want to move away from all that transfer language because it doesn't say to where and to what, although we're following all the rules. So that's part of our strategic planning that you'll see coming up, is how we're going to try and simplify that.
Yeah, as you might recall in the budgeting workshop for the comprehensive financial policies, the goal was to move away from those large transfers and instead allocate portions of certain taxes so that it just goes directly in and it can be set and by council and only altered by council.
Just when looking at the budget, there's a lot of trees and a lot of ink that are involved in these things.
Yes,
That's correct.
no shortcuts. Question.
Yeah, on page 6, the expenditures from the Parks and Recreation Fund, the 112. It's like, could you remind us why it was $420,000 over expenditures? The revenues were 100.
Oh, sure. And you'll see that because a lot of it is the transfers in. So the 490,000 below that you can see there, that was again, to the point made before, a lot of these special revenue funds, so the Parks and Recreation, let's see, what was some of the other, are funded majorly by transfers from the general fund. And those expenditures are used, but if you can see below that the second bold from the bottom is the overall increase or decrease, and in this case it was an increase of 53,000. So it's not that the Parks and Rec fund lost 420,000. That was just if you don't include the transfers, you have to look at the very bottom line.
But that just seems like a lot. Was that for the kitchen?
No, this is just for the Parks and Recreation operating fund. So, and I will remind you that in 2025 and prior, the Parks and Recreation Fund also included the parks itself, the maintenance of which. So those two were lumped together. And so difficult to pick apart when you look at just this. And that's why we segregated it for 2026 and on. It has Parks Facilities has its own fund. So you can see what is the true amount that we spend on our parks versus our actual programs. Recreation
Is
program.
it working better? Like trying to figure out who does what in the parks and who does recreation, because some things
Operationally, it doesn't make a significant impact. So Glenn has, prior, he knew who works where and how to manage those different components. But from a management side, for your perspective, it will make it a lot easier understanding the financial impacts of each fund. So going forward, we can separately analyze, okay, how is our parks doing and how much are we spending on that versus, parks, instead of lumping them both together and kind of having that question mark on how do you manage the financial impacts of recreation itself as a fund. So I think going forward, it'll be very useful to have it set that way.
Yeah, for sure.
And then did we get the final, like a fourth quarter report? Did you bring that
For the budget?
to us for the 2025 final?
Yes.
after
I
that's
believe
settled?
that was the first or second meeting in April, but that
Oh,
was
okay. I
presented.
thought so.
Yeah.
But that's where you can see where all this lined with the budget and where we landed.
Right.
And we landed in a very solid place. So.
Yes.
I know I circled something else, like when you get back to the chart.
Yeah, the schedule one.
What page are you on there?
This is 26. 27. There's repeats, like the general fund up here, you have business occupation taxes on utilities repeated. There's twice, and then
Yes.
down below, state award of commerce is twice, and you go over to the next page, there's investment earnings that are repeated 6 times
Yes.
with the same bars account number and fund name.
Yeah.
Why are there so many repeats?
Yes. So for the purposes of the BARS manual, they look at it based on activity. So they assign the BARS number based on what the actual activity is. In the case of revenues, what type of revenue is it? But we can add multiple BARS codes for the same purpose, but for different types of revenue. So the interest one, I'll get to that in a second, but looking back at the business and occupation taxes on utilities. So we have multiple types. So there's electric, there's gas, there's cable, those are all different types of B&O taxes in the way that they care about them, but we have them set up in different ways in our GL so that we can see, this is how much the electric B&O tax is made. This is how much the state B&O taxes, the gas B&O taxes made. So we create multiple GLs, but it still has the same root BARS account number for the purposes of reporting.
Well, it has the same with your MCAG number and your same fund number.
Yeah, so MCAG is us. So that's the city of Medical Lake and how the state identifies us. Every single entity has their own. But the fund, yes. So the general fund has multiple business and occupation tax line items that, if you compared it to the budget, you would see that I guess this is activity versus budget, but essentially you would see that we have multiple revenue codes for different B&O taxes. But when we report it to the state, it still has that same root 3164000. And every single type of activity has its own BARS code per the state. So when we set up our GLs, we have to take essentially what the type of activity is prescribed in the BARS manual, because you can't enter one without using a root from the BARS manual. Otherwise, you're out of compliance.
I know from our council point of view, if I looked at this, if 2 entries at 300,000 mean no different to me if there was 1 entry for 600,000. Just by me looking at it.
Yes, and it would be, there are ways that you can consolidate all of them, but essentially, in my opinion, it would be an unnecessary labor that would reduce the reporting quality. Even though it does appear, yes, that it's a repeat, but essentially when I build the export that goes into the SAO annual report filing, I pull just exactly what our activity is from our accounting software. So every single line item, every single account total, and then convert it into what they want to see. So essentially, this is an exact duplicate of our actual activity, but it's converted to what does the state care about. So essentially, I could go back through our accounting and say, okay, well, which account did we make 381,000 for, and see that. And in future budgets, so when we do the 2027 budget that reflects the activity in 2025, you could also compare those and say, well, this was our actual activity that year, this is our actual activity that year, and it would reflect this reporting.
Because just by looking, there's some of those categories that take up a whole page or a page and a half.
Yes, especially in utilities, because essentially, if you were to look at the budget, you would see that there's a line item for a lot of different things. There's a line item for supplies, there's a line item for professional services, for benefits, one for different types of benefits. So medical, what we have to pay for federal, the FICA, they all are broken up based on what we need to account for in our system. So when we pull that export, you're going to see there's a line item for every single one of our GLs. So it looks repetitive, but it accurately reflects what our activity is.
This format would not allow for that additional column between the bars named and the amount that would give some subcategory, so
Right.
that it would look like that was from electric and that was from utility and that was from, I mean, we would see a difference if there was that next category between the bar's name and we could
Yeah.
put that sub account.
Exactly. If I had the ability, if it was a
But
part of
this
the filing.
is the state format.
Yeah. It really, what they care about and what is truly important in this report is what is the activity related to. They don't care as much about if it was operating supplies versus minor equipment, but that's what we have our budget for.
So when the state auditors come, they don't look at this.
They do look at it, but not for the same, they're not, they're not trying to tell how much we spent on operating supplies versus, they look at it to make sure that it's accurate, that what we reported here matches what's in our accounting software. So that's their primary concern. Accuracy. Yeah.
So if I may, we look at it through a different set of eyes than the auditor does. The auditor wants everything, right down the line, any transaction or any movement at all.
Correct.
And so what we see as duplicate, and what an auditor would see makes sense to them.
That is correct. Yep. And ultimately, what they are concerned with is that the financial statements of the city are accurate to whatever users would use them. So, if we were to seek out funding or for a loan, they would be looking at our financial statements. So the auditors want to ensure that what we are presenting is accurate. And that's the primary concern for that. That we're not misrepresenting the activity of the city.
We know the dollars are there, but they want to see where it's been moved to and where it ends up.
Correct.
So they want to track it.
Yep.
So there's not two sets of books as of
Correct.
active or not.
These annual reports are following the SCASB rules, and they just want to know the category. And it's uniform across the whole state for all cities, and so they also use it for comparatives.
Yeah.
So.
Because there's a lot of different
Vice
labels that
Another
we use.
analysis.
By stock and forestry and penmanship, so we got plenty of it.
Apparently.
Any other questions I can
No,
answer? That's great.
great observances, actually. Appreciate it. Good job. Look at that. Any other questions about this? Anything else, Cost, that you want to add?
I am excited to announce that for the first year since I've been here, the Schedule 6 has been, well, it's still, there's still a difference between the GL and the bank statements, but essentially I located a massive error that had been riddling each report that I've submitted, and essentially it stemmed back to some errors in 2018 to 2020 that essentially made us off by about 85,000 every single year, and was the bane of my existence every time I filed this. And I located the errors, I corrected them, and I would say our statements are the most accurate they've ever been. Very excited. for
Yeah,
that.
good.
Yeah,
Thank you for
absolutely.
seriously. He really did so hard to go back and try to trace these numbers back to their origin and trace them forward and like, where did this go wrong? And,
Yep.
thank you for finally being able to identify.
Absolutely.
them.
So was there an echo through the office loudly say, I found it?
Yeah, I may have screamed a little. There may have been some fireworks, poppers that I had stored for 4 years.
And then he took the next day off.
Yeah.
He was finally rest.
But yeah,
But it's noted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Found that digital mouse in the wall, huh?
yep, exactly.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
So thank you for your diligence and your good work, it's just really a pleasure to work with you and a comfort to just see the excellence and your dedication. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate
Appreciate
it. Right. Hey, moving on into,
And I do apologize, Mayor, but it does have to be approved. There would have to
Oh.
be action.
it does say action item. So looking then to approve the submission of the 2025 annual report.
So move.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, submit that report, sir. We have a cleanup and green up report, by Mr. Weathers. Looking forward to hearing the rest.
Yes, so you have a briefing sheet on page 60 of your packets. I just wanted to be able to provide you a little bit of an update as to how our cleanup and green up day went. It was successful. 2026 Spring Cleanup and Green Up Day was held on May 9th in Waterfront Park. It continues to provide a valuable service to the community. They showed up. This year's event resulted in the removal, as was stated earlier, of 22.64 tons of waste, which interestingly enough adds up to the exact same total as the previous 5 years average. So we've had higher years before. The last couple years were higher, 27 tons in 2025, 25 tons in 2024. So we're down from the last couple of years, but it's right on point with the average over the 5 previous years. And it was really valuable. And it demonstrated strong resident participation. It continues and continued demand for these disposal services. So I think that 22 tons of garbage that's gone means we're 22 tons lighter, which is great. In addition to the waste collection, the expanded green up component included some park improvement efforts where we spread about 10 yards of material placed in playgrounds at Waterfront Park and Wilcox Park. We learned that there's a need for a little bit more than what we brought. So we'll continue that effort. And we'll also be working with some nonprofits to help, again, with some extra hands to help clean up and get some garbage and get us ready for spring or summer. But these efforts support ongoing maintenance of public spaces while reinforcing the community pride and environmental stewardship. And I just want to mention as well, our appreciation goes out to the Public Works and Parks and Recreation staff. Even Cost was out there helping as well. So it's all hands on deck to assist, to provide this benefit to the community, as well as our community partners, including Scope and Sunshine Disposal, for their coordination and operational support and contributions to the success of the event. But thank you on behalf of the community. Thank you for providing the service, and happy to answer any questions or hear any feedback from you if you have it.
Appreciate all the staff time and effort that went into that. And I'll just offer a challenge to myself and the council that not only can we approve this and fund it, but we might show up and help next year. So I think we'll see if we can get the A team out there. Thank you. Moving on then to action items for the consent agenda, approval of the May 5, 2026 minutes.
I see one correction
Okay, please.
down in reports A2. It is not Senator McMurray. we need to remove the MC at the beginning there.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
And with that correction, I move to approve.
Any other corrections? Okay. For your second,
Second.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain because I wasn't here.
And one abstention.
The two abstain, yeah.
Two abstentions
Yeah.
because Councilmember Richard also was not here. So we have enough to pass, so. If we have,
Okay.
thank you so much. Move on into the approval of the May 19th, 2026 payroll claim warrants 53712 through 53719. And payroll payable warrants number 30351 through 30360 in the amount of $183,173.15. And claim warrants numbered 53720 through 53762 in the amount of $236,324.10.
Move to approve.
Second. Any discussion? Some more. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Council members who are present, public hearing. I will first hear the update of ordinance 1145 concerning the affordable housing, and then we'll be moving for the first read. So Elise Rodriguez is here to brief us on that, and then let me know when we move. This is the hearing.
Go ahead and open the hearing.
So we need to open the hearing then at 7:26. Go ahead.
Okay, so on page 74, I believe? 74, sorry, I'm off by 10. 74, you have your briefing sheet. So this is meeting number 5-6 for affordable housing, which is essentially the ADUs, the accessory dwelling units, that we are mandated to allow, and much of the language has to do with what is now in the state RCWs for every jurisdiction in the state, or at least those fully counting jurisdiction. So this is there's a graphic in your briefing sheet to keep track of things. So if this passes tonight, we'll have our second meet at the next meeting. Starting on page 75, you have your staff report, which is just one page with the Planning Commission staff report. They evaluate the proposal with the criteria for changes to the development code. Those criteria were adopted by you earlier in the year as part of this periodic update process. So I'm not going to go through all those findings, but I'm sure you enjoyed reading those 2 or 3 pages. And then that is, I should say that the Planning Commission did unanimously recommend approval for these code changes. And then starting on page 80, you have the draft of the ordinance, which includes the proposed language, which is slightly different. We discussed it at the last workshop, slightly different than what the Planning Commission had recommended approval on because of Department of Commerce's comments and legal reviews, secondary review on that in between. So I'm not going to go into any further detail unless you have questions, since we've discussed this multiple times.
Is a good briefing on this last workshop.
And since it's a public hearing, asking for public comment.
And is the public comment during the public hearing or after? Okay, is there anyone online who has a public comment? There is, I don't see any public in the room. So if there's anyone online, it would be the second ask. Or one last opportunity for any comment on ordinance 1145 as it's been briefed. Okay, hearing no public comment.
What we approve.
I
First
think we'll
read of the
close the public hearing. And so we'll close the public hearing at 7:30 on the button there. And then we will move to council for the first read. Can I have council read the title and the rest?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. City of Medical Lake, Spokane County, Washington, ordinance number 1145. An ordinance of the City of Medical Lake, Washington relating to amendments to Title 19 of the Municipal Code regarding accessory dwelling units.
Thank you so much. Okay, council, what is your pleasure?
I would move to approve ordinance 114 concerning housing, affordable housing. That one too.
Second, to approve ordinance, 1145.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Questions from council?
But just more, this is something more required to do by the state, right?
Yes. It is a state law that mandates, and we did. If you remember from our workshop that we did take advantage of any opportunity we had to maintain some local control, but it was slim.
But this one is up to the owner, whether they want to or not.
Correct.
Right.
Nobody has to do it.
So
It's
this one.
available for those who want to, and then the rules that would they have to follow to make that happen. So we think we've got all the safeguards as many as we can in place, so. Anyway. Any other thoughts or comments? Okay, we have a first and a second, then all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously, thank you, council. Passage of ordinance 1143. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. No executive session noted. We'll move on to resolutions then. Resolution 26-812, the amendment to contract with the EW groundwater study, page 84. Stronghold will brief us on that since he's been the admin support for this long journey.
Sure have. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Again, so essentially what this resolution is a reflection of the activity that has happened between the City of Medical Lake and Department of Ecology regarding the grant, the groundwater study grant, which is in full swing, almost done. So essentially, the contract needs to be with, the contract with EW, which we've been utilizing to complete the study, needs to be updated in order to reflect the 3 amendments that we've made with the Department of Ecology. The primary reasons for which are the extending of the time. The original expiration date was June 30th of 2025. And since then, the 2 amendments have brought it to June 30th of 2026 to allow Ecology to complete their side of it. And then additionally, as we neared the end of the grant, we realized that it would be more beneficial to allocate 25,000 of the what they had allocated for administration to the grant itself. That we felt would more we would have had an excess in the grant administration, so we want to make sure it's put to use. So.
That's came to this council. That was approved already.
Yep.
So we appreciate your effort and your efficiency that you were able to save those dollars and use them more for programming, and testing. So thank you so much for that. Any other questions or concerns? If I entertain a motion, if so inclined.
To approve resolution 26-812.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Resolution 26-812 passes unanimously.
Chad have to abstain.
Oh, Chad has to abstain. Why did you raise your hand? No.
Afterwards.
He was saying abstain. I'm sorry, I misinterpreted. Okay, thank you so much. All in favor, but one abstaining. Councilmember Pritchard. Resolution 26-814. There's a printer lease and service agreement with Canon, page 89. These are there's two attachments for Public Works and wastewater treatment plant. Wasting no time from last meeting to this meeting, Zoom, they're here. So, anyway, Boss is happy to answer any questions about those lease agreements, but we do have some happy campers down there who've been using clunkers and hand-me-downs and, can you print this for me because ours is terrible, scenario,
If you've
so.
seen the copies that come from maintenance,
Yeah,
you would understand.
yeah,
It's pretty rough. And on top of that, there will be a cost savings to the amount that they spend on toner and supplies, and because none of them have maintenance contracts, they're just printers that they've inherited over the years that they've made work and taped together, and it's time to get them a proper machine. So
Not that they
both of them.
have really expensive ink cartridges, and you know how those older machines are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ink
It's
guzzlers.
due.
Sorry, I heard a funny story about that. I was gonna not.
Move to approve resolutions 26-814.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That one was unanimous. I heard sound and hand waving. Resolution 86-814 passes. We've already talked about the ordinance. There's no emergency ordinances. We have any upcoming agenda items, anything that comes to mind, otherwise speak now or we'll pick it up later with administration. Last opportunity then for interested citizen comment. Anyone online, interested citizen comment. Last calls. All right, then we will entertain a motion to conclude.
Second.
We were stymied at the last meeting, Jeff.
I trust that you made it through.
Barely. All in favor?
Aye.
We needed your leadership.
We are adjourned. Be sure that you leave your selection for your availability can tonight or do that back to Sunday by tomorrow.
Maybe you'll put your name on.
Yeah. You can put your name on it if you want, I did, but
Oh,